5 reasons why you have anxiety. So let's get started. How many of you, and make a comment, have anxiety or discomfort? Maybe you don't even know it's anxiety, it's a discomfort. For years, I didn't know anxiety was that discomfort, feeling like butterflies in the stomach all the time, overthinking in your head. There's different stages and different reasons. Well, how many of you would like to know the reasons? So I experienced all of them. So if you're an empath, you're absorbing anxiety from your parents. You know that discomfort that people have where they just want to pull their hair out, they can't handle it, the stress. It's like, ah! People are sleeping, I can't scream too loud. And what that is their body is in like, their nervous system just goes out of whack, crazy. They can't handle it. That's why children have temper tantrums. You got to scream, let it out. Absorbing energy is one of the things that needs to be done to release the pain in the body, the anxiety. So anxiety, I wonder if there's a way I could have wrote that on here. So we're talking about anxiety. So the reasons, if you're an empath, that you have anxiety is you've got to breathe and let it out. You've got to breathe. So I do breath work exercises on here. It's a certain technique that helps you get to the pit of your stomach to release it completely from the body. A lot of times when we have symptoms, we breathe because we're in pain. And it starts when we're a child. If we don't feel good enough, wanted, important, if we don't feel worthy, a lot of that comes into effect that we start breathing a different way, putting our body into fight and flight and protecting ourselves. The body's protecting. So, number one, the reason why people have anxiety is they're empaths and they're absorbing other people's pain. Have you ever felt depressed after being with someone that's depressed? It's the same thing with feeling all their emotions, feeling their pain. Have you ever felt like this pain after listening to somebody talking about pain? So it's the same thing. I didn't know what anxiety was until I worked on a client who had this horrible anxiety. And once I realized, I knew it was her pain because what she described her pain to me was exactly what I did. Hi, young family, is exactly what I woke up to at 3 o'clock in the morning with this horrible anxiety. So you can absorb it from other people. So the second reason people have anxiety is nutrition. What are you eating? Just like anything, you can have symptoms from your habits. And what kind of nutrition are you putting in your body? I'm sorry to say, yeah, your eating habits have a lot to do with it. Hello, Gus Rivers. We're talking about anxiety today and the 5 different reasons why people have it. And so I've had all the different reasons. I'm a strong empath. I absorb other people's pain. Nutrition, I've taken minerals and magnesium and got rid of it. Took 5 days to get rid of the panic attacks and the anxiety. It's a different type of anxiety. And then the third way is become like the honey badger, completely fearless. It's hard to become fearless when you don't know why you have the fear. So I help guide people to getting to the root cause. Thank you for the hearts. I don't know what the cones are for. So the third reason is your body getting proper nutrients and absorbing it? So even though I ate healthy, I didn't absorb the nutrients. And it's going to be the last reason is because well, I'll tell you that. So the first one is, are you an empath, absorbing other people's pain for anxiety? Are you eating healthy, getting the proper nutrients, and then vitamins, the minerals? I mean, certain vitamins work. What you could be missing one thing and it throws the whole system off. I know somebody told me I was low on potassium. I remember the nurse calling me saying, you need to get to the emergency room. You're going to have a heart attack. That was a horrible thing for her to say because I didn't believe it, but she could have put somebody else, anybody that's hypochondriac could have just had a heart attack right then and there thinking she's going to have a heart attack. So I could have got her in trouble. Although at that time I didn't speak up. Now you can't shut me up. So the first one is, are you an empath? The second, what are your eating habits? The third, your nutrients. Are you absorbing the nutrients? Your minerals, are you taking nutrients? So you could be taking them, but not absorbing them. So the fourth one is, are you letting go of all your, so are you absorbing it, and is your body feeling the absorption, or is there something stuck in the body because you're not going to the bathroom every day, you're not drinking water? That goes back with nutrition also. But the fifth one that I discovered is this even your pain? So actually the fourth one was emotions. I kind of got a little, let me start over. Okay. Are you an empath? Are you absorbing people's pain? Are you absorbing your nutrients? That means, are you going to the bathroom? Are you drinking water? What are your eating habits? And you're getting proper nutrients like minerals, vitamins. And what are your thoughts? And then the last one is this even your pain? So a lot of my anxiety was related to my mom and my grandmother. They all had anxiety. I didn't reach that type of anxiety till I got into my 50s. And then I started talking to my mom, and she said she had anxiety her entire life. So I share this because I had all the different reasons of anxiety. Some people think that because they had anxiety their entire life that everyone else has it too. No, I didn't have anxiety. People think because you're depressed that everybody's depressed. No, people are not all depressed. Genetics sucks sometimes. So I let go of all the anxieties, but this is what I do with breathwork healing. And you don't have to stick to the genetics. The genetics, is there and it's handed down, it trickles down, but you can change the genetics by identifying, being aware of it, and letting. For me, I had to breathe it out. It's in my blood system. It's in every cell of my body. Any tips for long flight? I would say when I used to go on long flights, a lot of it had to do with I didn't like flying. I didn't mind flying. I didn't like how I felt. And I would say drink lots of water. You're dehydrated. And for me, there was a part of me that wasn't even mine, that was my mom's, that she didn't like traveling, which trickled down to me. I never traveled, but when I did travel, I was exhausted. And it was a part of my system that said, I'm not allowed to have fun. So for you, it could be just being hydrated, drinking a lot of water. Before you even went on the flight, you should have drank a lot of water. Just keep hydrated, and don't start drinking alcohol unless you want to. And hopefully you're on vacation. So is there anybody on here that has anxiety? So that's the topic that I'm talking about. And because this is a replay, I'd like to stick to and focus on anxiety. So many people are struggling with anxiety and have had it for their entire life. So I share that a lot of this is they absorbed it because they didn't know any better. They saw their parents having anxiety. They didn't know it's anxiety. They just think that this is normal. Many of us will adapt to what we believe is normal when we're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, right? And we don't know any better. And so anxiety is that discomfort. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It's almost like you want to pull your skin off or pull your hair out. And, a lot of times if you've ever, I'm trying to think of things like going on, like think of public speaking. When you have to go and public speak in front of everybody, a lot of times people will start having panic attacks and anxiety. It's like, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't do it. You're all gung-ho about it, thinking, yeah, I can do this. But what it comes down to is once you're there, because our ego goes, yeah, I can do this, no problem. But once you're up there, it's like, you start breathing really heavy. That's like panic. That is anxiety. Well, I have it, and it got worse after my breakup. That's way I booked a flight for vacation. Oh, Dragonborn, I'm sorry about your breakup. But so when that discomfort I used to have when I was sober in groups of people, and so you're having a heartbreak. You're just having you're heartbroken. And most people would drink, right? But I don't drink anymore. And what I had to do is I had to learn to find out why am I uncomfortable being around people sober. And what I found out is I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. So possibly if I had done this 40 years ago, I'd be so much farther along in my life. But you know what? Better late than never. So I had to learn to be comfortable. And so do you have, young family, do you feel that you have anxiety? Do you know what causes your anxiety? So some people know what causes their anxiety and they avoid things. I have panic attacks. That's why I'm worried about it being in the middle of the flight. So I know people take Klonopin or something to calm their mind down. Um, and there's no way I can help you before that flight if you're going on it. I had a boyfriend that would take Klonopin to help calm the mind, or take something like a Xanax to calm the mind. Uh, for me, I don't have those kind of problems. I'm just exhausted afterwards. And so you haven't gone on your flight, Dragonborn. So in order to go, and I know a lot of people drink, but you want to know how, you need to ask the body, why am I having this panic attack? And it's a lot of work to get through it. I'm just talking about it, you can take minerals, and I don't know, because you're not a client, if this is minerals, like lack of minerals in the body or something missing, or if this is actually something mentally and emotionally going on, that you have a fear of flying. So there's different reasons, right? And that's why I said the 5 reasons. Are you an empath? Which you're going on a flight. So is it your minerals? You can start, I don't know, when's your flight, Dragonborn? Are you going on your flight like today or in the next couple days? I can ask you, if you're very in tune to your body. I do communicate with the body, and I teach people how to communicate with their own body, and ask, is this nutritional? Is this emotional? Is this even my pain? And when you identify it, then you can work on it. But that's how I help people get through it. You'd have to know why people have a little bit of a cold coming up. My son was sharing with me. I think that I'm hoping to bypass it through breath work. So I do a lot of breathing. This is a way to go about life. I think she believes her own shit. No wonder the BF took pills. The boyfriend was taking pills before I came along. So I didn't know anything about anxiety. I didn't even have anxiety back then. And I don't have anxiety today. I used to. Hi, John Wagner. So I believe it because I don't have anxiety attacks and I don't have addiction. I've released a lot of my symptoms. And I'm here to share. If you don't want to hear about it, go somewhere else. How are you doing today? Brian, I'm doing fantastic. It's Saturday. It's a beautiful day. If you on about love your energy and smile. Thank you, Brian. So I'm sharing about anxiety and why people have it. And I shared, do you want me to say it again? So I'll share it again because some people are coming in. So there's different stages of anxiety and different reasons why people have it. You could absorb it through your parents. You can absorb it, and a lot of it comes from the parents. So people that have had anxiety their entire life, they don't realize. Some people told me they were born with it. Yeah, you can be born with it because your mother had it while she was carrying you, thinking, oh my God, I'm having a baby. What am I doing? And worried about taking care of this child. So you're already in the mother's stomach. On April, I do fly, but not usually for 13 hours, and just afraid that a panic attack will come. So yeah, I would say you've got to find out, are you worried about having the panic attack already? That's going to make you have a panic attack, but check your minerals. And again, I can't do it with you. I have to talk one-on-one to hear your voice, to feel into, is this a panic attack because you're low on minerals or magnesium? You might as well upload on it and get your nutrients and increase it. Right? Somebody from San Marcos is calling. What's your eyeglasses number? I have no idea how to even tell. I am still trying to learn how to spell anxiety. You know what? Once you stop having anxiety, you learn how to spell it. You spelled it perfectly fine. Did you know there's a song about anxiety? There's a song about anxiety. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety. Bum, bum, bum. I'm not a good singer, but I thought it was a cool song. If you were in the mother's stomach, you would have died. I'm talking about a person that's in their mother's stomach. You know what I mean? Are you being a smarty butt? I don't like to swear on here because I don't know if you get kicked off. In the womb. That's, you know what I mean. Come on, silly. Them eyeglasses give you frog eyes. I actually, not frog eyes, fish eyes. They used to call me fish eyes because my eyes were so big when I was young. Sure, you meant womb. Song about everything. Yes, anxiety is a real debilitating condition. Angelo, yes, and I didn't even realize that it was the anxiety that I was going through when I wasn't drinking and I was. Do you get anxiety singing? No, anxiety. I don't have anxiety. Now I haven't stood in front of people, but when I had anxiety, yeah, when I was working on clients, I actually would absorb their anxiety. I know you are. You're just messing with me. Your voice sounds strong. It should sound a little stuffy because I am stuffed. Do fish give you anxiety? No, they're very calming. They're very definitely fighting. I got to eat some vitamin C. So anxiety, again, I'm going to repeat it. Sometimes it's magnesium and minerals. My wife has a debilitating, can't say that word, debilitating anxiety condition for 15 years, and her life was never the same. Does she still have it? So I'm going to give you 5 reasons, and you can release it. So I released it through breath work. It's a type of breathing that helps heal the body, letting go of all the reasons. Did her mom have it? Then she's an empath and she absorbed it. It's a generational trauma. Is it minerals or magnesium? So mine was both magnesium and minerals. But for somebody to have it just all the time, she's living in fight and flight. Her nervous system doesn't know what's safe and what's not safe because her body's so used to having it. She has it all the time. I don't do yoga. I do breath work, which is kind of like, I used to do Kundalini yoga, which is a type of, I guess it's kind of like meditation yoga on steroids. Perimenopause made it complicated. So I thought at one point she got better, but now it's pretty bad. She could be mineral deficient. Again, not seeing her and not hearing if it was hereditary. Again, mine was from my mother. Mine was lack of minerals. Mine was fear of things not working out, which was my mother's fear. Do you eat beans to expel? Why is this person calling all the time? Did I have an appointment? Kind of makes you wonder, huh? How do you overcome the fear of judgment? Like stage fear. So being on stage, so you have to practice being on stage and letting go of judgment. So I learned about letting go of judgment. When you think people are judging you, that's in your head. That means you're still judging yourself. I had to let go of that before I could come on here and talk to people, because when somebody would criticize me, it would shut me down for like a week. And a part of you believes what people are saying. Where do you aim the shower head when you're doing breath work? I'm not in the shower. I'm doing it like outside. Love the glasses. They really look good. Thank you, Adrian. Do you let someone pull your finger? That's like what kids do. Actually, there's one person that says do this when you have anxiety. Again, I do breath work. And so fear of judgment, when you worry about what other people are saying, it means you're using your mind thinking that there's something wrong with you. You believe the judgment. I had to learn to let that go. Again, I did the breath work. I do breath work exercises on here. I'm not doing it today because I already did a class this morning. Does that make sense? I can do 2 minutes. with that, if you like. Does getting off help with anxiety? I don't know. You tell me. Does that help you? I don't have anxiety. So when you're having anxiety, that's a little hard to get off when you're in the middle of like talking to people. So some people have those panic attacks and anxiety. It starts with judging ourselves. So yeah, when I was, do you eat the Snickers? I love eating Snickers. But I don't eat candy right now. So yeah, judging yourself, you've got to stop judging. You got to ask yourself, why did I start judging myself? What is it that made you? And it's something in here, and it was created as a child. You don't feel good enough. You don't feel worthy. You don't feel like you're wanted. Nobody cares about you, but it's a feeling within you that you created yourself because of some story or something that happened. All it takes is one person to tell you that you're fat or stupid, and you believe it because you're only like 5 years old, and you're like, oh, they think I'm stupid, so I must be. And you believe it, and you take that into your adulthood, not realizing it because you forgot what somebody said. And then once you take it back to the root cause, it comes back to, oh, yeah, that's what somebody said to me, but it's not true. And once you start saying, hey, it's not true, I know I'm good at what I'm doing, whether it's good at your job or good at working out. I mean, you know what you're good at. Are you an American? I'm an American. I don't know what dietitian is that supposed to say dietitian? Nitish? Because it's spelled wrong. So diet is Dietisin. So is that what you mean? Because I don't know if there's a different word that I'm not familiar with. Ha ha, Alan Victory. I have anxiety. I use breathing techniques every day. I was at the hospital on a course learning how my anxiety, and I live well with it every day. So you don't have to live with anxiety. So that's why I share that breathing techniques work, but the breath work that I do gets to the root cause. So the anxiety usually started and you're holding on to an emotion that created the anxiety, whether it's yours or your mom's, your grandparents. Thank you. Thank you, Drippy. Hi, Dabish. Can we see a 360 view? No. How many times have you done LSD? Yeah, I don't talk about drugs. Dietitian. Okay. So I know about eating healthy. My mom was a nutritionist. So nutritionist, I know about vitamins, herbs. I've tried everything, but I'm not a dietitian. No. No, Mr. Peaceful. Alan, I get anxiety from watching this show. Well, honey, I'm sorry, Alan. Maybe you should go somewhere else where you're relaxed. Hey, I go through everyday anxiety from Diddy nightmares. Oh my God, that would be horrible. You got to breathe and stop watching watching the shows about Diddy. I heal to change your breathing technique helped. I'm not immortal. Hey, heal to change your breathing technique helped. I'm glad, Marty. So seriously, the breath work that I was doing, you can even Google here. I think they have exercises. I do them live on here to breathe out the stuck energy. So for me, all my symptoms were stuck energy because I didn't process. And I've released fibromyalgia, autoimmune disease, anxiety, chronic fatigue, laying around, being a couch potato, scrolling, because all of those are distractions keeping you, avoiding you from living the life, the freedom that you deserve, right? I took trazodone for sleep and it helped with anxiety too, but every time I was on it, I would only shoot blanks. Weird medication, so I stopped. I don't know what shooting blanks means. Um, how long can you hold your breath? I can hold my breath for 2 minutes because I am working on releasing the stuck energy. So I'm glad you found something that works. I teach people how to become pain free and not get used to drugs. Not saying you should stop taking your drugs, but only because pills made me feel worse. Alan Victoria, now I forgot what you're laughing at. Amazing. Tabish, okay. You speak very clearly. Thank you, Frank. It took a long time to learn how to speak like this because I had a hard time connecting and I stuttered. But people said when you practice something, you get good at it. And learning how to not be confrontation, and be direct and be able to answer questions, especially when you got to read all these. Do you make loud echoes on the commode? I don't know what a commode is. I'm a white fellow. I eat jello. My pee is bright yellow. Your pee is not bright yellow because of jello. Are you trying to rhyme? Final cut. Your pee is yellow because you take vitamins and you're excreting them all out. Or maybe you ate a lot of vegetables and it's normal for it to be bright yellow. You look Palestinian, sis. Cool. I love Palestinians. It means no ejaculation during orgasm. Oh, okay. Thank you. I thought shooting blanks was shooting like you can't make babies. Do you believe in Jesus? I possibly could. Quick question. What happened to a baby salamander if you threw it in a bucket of grubs? I have no idea. If you hold your breath for 10 minutes, then you can be totally numb. So I'm not sure about numb, but why would I want to hold it for 10 minutes unless I was being held like underwater and something happened? Most likely you die, wouldn't you? Anybody have anxiety? So I shared what the anxiety is. Dear Heal to Change, I hope this message finds you well. I am reaching out to discuss the upcoming project milestones. Okay, that has nothing to do with anxiety. Alan, don't say that. What did Alan say? Oh, yeah, I don't want to get people in habit of holding their breath. Okay, so anxiety. I haven't had anxiety. Now, I do need to stand in front of people. So I had anxiety when I would put on my first breathwork classes and people were in front of me, but I didn't have it. I put on classes every week. I had one this morning and I don't have anxiety anymore. So that discomfort went away because of practice. So sometimes, like if you were on a plane every single day, eventually you'd get used to being on the plane, I would hope. What are you wearing on your neck? It's a string. Does it have to do something with energy? No, I don't do things. I don't wear things or believe in the crystals like a lot of the energy people do. I believe in having energy and being the energy. Only because that's what came to me. A lot of people get into all that play stuff. If you believe it, it works for you. But for me, it did not believe. For me, energy came from eating healthy, having a healthy mind. Sorry, I put what? Oh, I don't know what that means. So for some people that have anxiety, taking nutrients, I didn't mean to put that. Okay, this is about anxiety, so I'm not answering questions about religion. It's not about religion, so it has nothing to do with it. Is there anybody that would like to know why they have anxiety or what's going on with their body? Hi, Frank. Again, anxiety. Are you an empath? Do you absorb other people's energy? What are you eating? Number 2 is what are you eating? Number 3, so number 2, are you going to the bathroom? Is your body absorbing your nutrients? Because if you're eating healthy, but you're still having anxiety, it could be you're not absorbing nutrients. Number 3 is what kind of vitamins are you getting? Sometimes vitamins, lack of minerals, there's not enough minerals in food. Magnesium helps with panic attacks. Minerals, like I take liquid minerals. Liquid minerals have helped a lot. Number 4, did you inherit this from your parents? Did they have anxiety? 100%. How do you do that 100% button? I guess I have to be on a live there. My friends keep on leaving me out on being mean, so I'm having anxiety that I'm going to lose them. So you have a fear of loss. That's why you're having anxiety. Going to bed at this time is very important. It's 9 a.m. here. How do you know if you absorb nutrients? Well, based on a bathroom. So a lot of people take vitamins and it's $1 billion waste that they just poop the nutrients out. Like if you take a pill, it's best to take liquids so it's getting through your system. But I wasn't absorbing anything because I had a fear of getting hurt, and that fear of getting hurt prevented me, which it wasn't even my fear, it was my mom's. So I share a lot of that in my program of, is this your pain? Is it from the nutrients you're taking? Is it because you're absorbing it from other people? Is it even your pain, or is it something that that being in fight and flight, or your nervous system is like, hey, I'm not able to deal with this, right? I've had all of them, and each one was different, you know. So for me, I had anxiety because I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. Are you an Uber driver? No, not an Uber driver. I'm here. How can I be driving? So again, when you're having anxiety, you've got to ask your body. So I'm going to do an exercise with you. If you've got anxiety, I want you to tell me, who's got anxiety here? Did you fear your first flight journey? I was 4. No, I didn't have fear at 4. It's like you are giving control to a stranger. So yeah, I was flying since I was 4. My mom would put me on a plane and send me away for the summer to visit my grandparents. So no, I didn't have fear at that time. What I did have fear of was being comfortable around people, kids. I didn't make friends easily. So my body, I just was super shy. I didn't learn that, you know, all you had to do is go up and say hi to people, but something shut me down, right? Um, so I don't know. I haven't been on a flight in a couple of years. I seem to have more fear nowadays since I'm an adult. Actually, you know, since I had a child, it's almost like he took all my um, fearlessness. Like he's crazy. Plus, he's a boy, so he does things on his bike. He does wheelies and falls down, and he doesn't care. I fall down and make sure nobody's looking, and then I stop thinking about it, you know. But yeah, so no, I think I would have fear like if I stayed up all night and I didn't get enough rest, you know, making sure yeah, I don't think about not waking up or not getting to my destination. It's just, but I do have other types of fears. Fear of relationships, fear of getting into an unhealthy relationship, fear of gaining weight, you know, just things that keep us from going forward, right? Is it Sasha or Sash and Tripath? Sash and Tripath. So anybody have anxiety here? Would you like to communicate with your body to find out what the real fear is, if it's even yours? I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, so take that anxiety and give it a name. So I always give all the things that block me from living life. I call her Brittany. So Brittany, it has a lot of fear. So you want to write down all and describe what that discomfort is. Describe, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What color would it be? Describe it in detail. So if I was to describe Brittany, she is uncomfortable. She feels weighed down, like there's a weight on her, like cinder blocks or boulders. And she feels stuck. She feels like she can't move. And it's kind of like what anxiety goes through, right? And then when you describe it, then ask, anxiety, why do you feel this way? So why does anxiety feel heavy, stuck? And it feels trapped. Why do you feel that way? Could be a loss of control. Like, you know, going on a plane is loss of control. And if it was loss of control, where did that loss of control come in from? Where did it start? So there's a root. And when you have a root, then it grows lots of roots. Like there's a seed, right? So this is the root cause, is a seed. And then it has all these roots going in different directions. And as it keeps growing and growing, you don't get to the root and kill it. Then you keep getting, like, you can't just keep cutting the roots. You've got to get to where it started, the root, the seed. So where did that first control come from? Is this your control, or did you inherit it? So ask yourself, when did this first control? And when you sit in your heart center, you get the answer. You can't think the question and get an answer. You can't say that, or you can say the question, but you can't think the answer. That came out right. Wrong. Okay, now I'm just talking backwards. So you want to be in your heart center and feel the answer coming from your heart. Does that make sense? And then once you figure that out, like where was it first created? Then you ask, what can we do to let it go? Now, I let go of everything. First, you have to have an awareness where it came from. When sometimes people, once they have the awareness and they understand the lesson, it dissolves. Some people have to go back. I had to breathe it out. It was in my blood system in every cell. So I had to breathe mine out. Some people can write a new story, just blow up the old story and create a new story. So each person has a different reason why they're holding on to this control. Now, I'm not saying that this is what's going on with you. I'm making an example that it could be a control. You can't control a situation. I was actually talking about the person that had a fear of flying. You can't control if the person's going to get you to point A to point B, the destination. The pilot, you have to keep saying and believing, yeah, he's going to get me here to this destination because he is experienced. And I'm going to live today. Today's not the day to die, right? But somewhere along the line, you've lost control, and it could have been something that a parent did that kept you from having control. Maybe you wanted something and they put an end to it and they stopped letting you control a situation. There's different reasons why you're so worried about this controlling situation, right? Thanks for the happy faces and the hearts. So I'm trying to think of another example. So because you said control thing on flying, okay, here's one where anxiety comes up. You're standing in front of you have to go stand in front of the audience. So I used to have this one, and I would have panic attacks. So going on a Zoom meeting, I had this 5 years ago. I had to raise my hands and ask a question. And at 4:30 in the morning, I was having anxiety and panic attacks. And it's because I never raised my hand. I was so afraid of asking a question and having it be a stupid question. And this is before I let go of judgment. I was still judging myself. When we judge ourselves, sometimes that's anxiety. When we're put in a situation where we have to say something. Again, I wasn't speaking 5 years ago. I was very shy. I could talk one-on-one when I was with my clients, but when it was in front of a group, there was 50 people on there. I was having panic attacks, anxiety. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like ready to not show up to this meeting on Zoom. It was a training I was in. And so by the time I got to the class, they had partnered us up one-on-one. And when I was on one-on-one, I told the guy, I am so afraid of speaking. And I can't seem to push the button to raise my hand. So if you've ever done a Zoom meeting, you push a button to raise your hand. And so I went in to go get something to drink. And when the instructor said, hey, are there any questions? Somebody said, Julie's got something to say. And I heard my name and I ran in there. And I'm like, I'm here. Not even a chance to worry about if I'm saying a stupid question. I just said this question. The guy was a dick anyways. And once I said the answer or the question and he gave me the answer, I'm like, what was I so afraid of? A lot of us have anxiety, and unless you practice, like I had to practice going on these Zoom meetings. And once I did that very moment, I was never afraid to raise my hand. But it took that one experience to get me through that. And I never had anxiety. So the next time I had anxiety, I was putting on the meeting. I had to conduct the meeting, and I had, again, 2 hours before my meeting. It was all people I knew, but I wasn't good at speaking in front of people. And I wasn't good at speaking in front of my own friends, sober. but I was conducting a healing and teaching people how to get through their health issues by communicating with the body. And nobody knew that I had anxiety. And I didn't have anxiety on the moment that I started talking, but I had it 2 hours before, worried about it. And now, that was like a couple years ago. I don't have it anymore. I'm like, I don't have a problem speaking. It's the thinking that you have a problem of speaking and having the anxiety. So it takes practice. Am I going to do, I want to speak in front of people. Like so far, I've only spoken in front of like 12 people on Zoom. I'm going to build that up, and I'd like to have like 100 people on there. I see some of the healers, they have like 4,000 people on a Zoom meeting. I'm like, yeah, I want to be that person. But I still had to learn to speak freely and with people asking me questions, talk to everybody here. So I've only been doing this, I think this is my third week, maybe my third week. I had to practice and get used to talking, answering questions. Now, mind you, when there's 4,000 people, they don't answer everybody's questions. But I wanted to learn how to talk and remember what I'm saying. And I struggle, but I don't have anxiety. And I love being on here and talking to everybody. But it took practice. When somebody said, similar to when we are asked to present on Zoom to a large viewers, it takes practice. And yeah, you're going to have anxiety because you're not used to doing it. But it's our thinking that creates it. And it sucks. I'm so glad it's been a couple of years. And sometimes I worry if there's going to be 12 people, because as of right now, I do healings. I do breathwork healings on Sundays. And if there's more than like 5 people, I'm looking forward to having 12 people, but I'll still have a little bit of a panic and a little anxiety. But I'm excited that they're going to be there. And I'm also even more excited when they're not there. Because it's like, okay, I'll just do my exercise. It's okay. But now I've had to let go of the fear. It was a fear of making, a fear of bad things. What was it? It wasn't even my fear. It was a fear of getting hurt was blocking people showing up, believe it or not, but it wasn't mine. It was my mother's. So I've only still working on what's blocking. So it blocks the money, and blocking money is usually you don't feel you deserve it. You feel like you're going to get hurt if you had it and you've lost it. Is it Sasha? Do you have anxiety? Do you have any questions? I don't know who else is on here since you just responded. Is there any questions about anxiety? So did you hear the 5 reasons you have anxiety? You're out of practice of something. You got to practice. And just the unknowing. It's the what if it doesn't work out? What if I can't speak? So I used to have a problem with connecting words to my mouth. So I always had, what if I can't talk? Some people drink, they pop pills so they can calm themselves. I wanted to get to the point where I could be around people without drinking. And pills, I don't take pills. So yeah. But now practicing on here and having people asking me questions and I can respond. You know how hard it is? I used to have like 1,000 people that would be talking to me, and I was telling them I was super shy. And they're like, how can you be shy? Oh my God, sounds like my friend. She had an alcohol mother and she's very insecure, but wonderful speaker too. Oh, that's great. Does she speak about healing or alcoholism, or that she's just a speaker? What does she speak about? So my mom didn't drink. My mom didn't even eat cookies. I mean, my mom's so healthy. She's such a perfect person. Like no sun, no drugs, no alcohol, no smoking. Do you believe our genes inherit anxiety and fears from ancestors? Yes. Or is it just our own life? No. So you didn't hear what I said earlier. I don't know how long you've been on here. So a lot of my depression, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia was my grandmother's. Her depression, was hers, and I haven't been depressed in over 4 years. My anxiety, part of it was mine, it's practicing. Part of it was my mother's. And so the anxiety is a protection for some of us. So yeah, we can definitely get it from our family. We inherit it through our genes, but you can remove it. She is looping her trauma by attaching to a convict. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so again, unless I try something new, through my experiences, I've learned how to let go of anxiety. I had anxiety talking to women. I just watched other men doing it and went out of and then went out of practice. Now I'm pretty good at it, but it took about 30 or 40 approaches to get over it. What, did you get a date? Good afternoon, Kendall Fulton. Shifty, did you finally get a date? Or was it is it because you're asking them out? I got a cute something to say. So my son is 12 and he gets girls. Girls are more courageous. The girls are asking the boys out. So his last girlfriend, they went out for like 6 weeks, but she asked him. Yes, I got more dates. So you ask them out, but it took practice, right? Everything takes practice. And again, my life was easy when I was younger. And then as I got older, it's almost like my son took all my fearlessness and courage, you know. She mentioned he is very bossy on the phone. Well, he is incarcerated and it bothers her. And I told her she chose him. She chose him, but is this a husband? She chose him, but sometimes it's just life's experiences. You choose it, and then you experience it, and you move on. He is incarcerated. Does that mean he can't walk? I'm not sure. I told her that she chose him. Yeah, we choose people, but for experiences, we can change that. Nope, it's been 18 years. Oh, okay, so I did think it was maybe in jail. But she can leave him. I mean, if he's in jail. And yeah, they're mean, but so she's protecting herself, believing she can't have anything better. She has low self-esteem and believes that she's not good enough and she'll never have anybody else. She has to change herself, and only she can do that. And it's a mental hold. It certainly is. I see it with a lot of relationships, even with my aunts. It's a mental hold. Yeah, even with myself, I had to change me, believing that I cannot have a good relationship. That's why I keep attracting these unhealthy relationships. Now that I've done the work, the last one was the fear. And letting go of that fear wasn't even mine, it's my mom's, and hers is the fear of getting hurt. Now I'm still looking and working on it, but the fear of getting hurt was blocking financials. So I can make a certain amount of money, but I wasn't able to make the kind of money that I desire. He can be violent and still she has stayed. He says he wants to marry her now. So of course, because he's in jail, of course he's going to say that to hold her, to get his claws into her. She has to do the breath work and let go of how she feels about herself to attract a person like this. I also feel perfectionism stops our true progress. People like me who try to be perfect on everything instead of letting it go. So let me ask you, Sasha, did your parents, can you look at how your parents raised you? Were you competing against a sibling by any chance? Yes, it's her alcoholic mother and sister who passed on from it too. So Sasha, instead of letting it go, we have set the bar so high for us that anything below overwhelm. So there's a fear. You work so hard on being perfection that you think it's the perfection, but it's the fear. To me, it feels like it's a fear of getting hurt, and nobody can amount to what you want. but it's really you're protecting yourself from having somebody, so you make excuses by using perfectionism. Does that make sense? It's her alcoholic mother. So you can use the alcoholic mother, but those are excuses. In the sister who passed on from it too. Do they have alcohol problems also? Like your friend? Thank you. I want to suggest your channel to her. She comes from a violent third world country where there's a lot of desensitization. We seem to go through that a lot. But women seem to be coming out stronger. Like we are using our voice and not allowing a man to control us. A lot of violence. A lot of us, we accept the violence, and it comes from when you're a child. If you're not getting enough attention, you believe that if you give it all, like if you do everything for this person, they'll never leave you, which is incorrect. They'll still leave you. They'll still harm you. They'll still do bad things. It goes very deep. Yes. So I found out a lot of things, and with clients that I've worked, they inherit some of those feelings. So the alcoholic mother, she has low self-esteem. That's why she's drinking. Her mom probably treated her bad. And it just trickles down. She did it all for her mom while she was in jail too. So see, her mom's an alcoholic, not giving her attention. So she feels like something's wrong with her. She's broken. She can't get anything good because her mom didn't give her. Maybe her mom was violent. I don't know, but it works both ways, whether you're ignored or your mom beat you and yelled at you. But her mom was unhappy with herself and she was doing the best she could. Now it's time for your friend to say, hey, I am a good person and I don't deserve this, but it does take time. Again, I've been working on this for 3 years on my own self. And I had a lot, but I was going through a spiritual awakening, going through a transformation, getting myself from that caterpillar that thought that I was broken, that something's wrong with me, that I'm unwanted, nobody cares about me, I'm unlovable. And it all comes down to is we don't love ourselves. That's why we attract unhealthy relationships. And you continue to attract somebody like your mom or dad, how they treated you, until you heal that it's not their fault. It's not our fault. It's not my fault. Once you let that go, then you can move on. Then that's called transformation. After jail, she stayed single finally. Good, but she still has healing to do. You can stay single. Like a lot of people stay single because they've been hurt so many times. Me too. And they're protecting themselves. They think that that's saving them. So my mom, after 35 years, had tried to start dating, and she has all the same symptoms: the anxiety, the panic attacks, the freaking out. And she's like, but I haven't dated in 30 years. I'm like, Mom, you haven't done the work. You have to do the healing. And she's like, well, I was fine without dating. I'm like, yeah, but do you want to fix yourself or do you want to stay away from dating? You've got to pick one, choose, right? So your friend who's by herself, she has to do the work. And I've done the work every single day because I want health, happiness, and success. And what I'm finding out is this protection that I was carrying was my mom's. All her anxiety, because again, I had different types of anxiety, but a lot of it was I'm holding on to a generational trauma or generational curse. And through the breath work, I acknowledged it. I saw it, felt it, and I don't know if I've let it go. I'll know because I'll start making a lot of money. Anyways, I've been on here almost an hour. If anybody doesn't have any questions, do you have any questions? Please refer your friends. I would love to have them on here. I do a lot. I'll be doing breath work during the week. I am on here 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Saturday. And again, it doesn't matter if it's health, happiness, or success. Anxiety, symptoms get in our way. Our body protects us. And it's identifying what that protection is. The anxiety is a protection. People call it symptoms. It's a symptom that can be removed. I help identify what that is. I did the exercise here. And once you identify why you have it, whether it's nutrition, It's just inherited. You're an empath. She needs to recover, and I think she would take your advice since you mentioned you had it too. Oh, God, I had everything. You still look good. Thank you. Yeah, so again, I don't know if she still drinks, but I had to learn why I was drinking. We drink because we're uncomfortable. Some of us. Some of us, it's inherited because of your parents' discomfort. Her nervous system is very triggered by everything. Yeah, so she has to process. So what I would do, what I would usually do with a client is take them through a breath work exercise because we absorb energy. And again, I don't know how old she is, but I'm 60 and I've never processed my emotions till like 5 years ago. Her mother drank and she does not drink alcohol. Oh, good. But she still has the pain. And like my mom doesn't drink alcohol, but she is still carrying the pain of her mother. And I didn't even know my grandmother drank because by the time I knew her, she didn't drink, but she still had the discomfort. So she's still carrying the discomfort. Even though I stopped drinking, I still carried all that discomfort. Other people stop drinking and they feel great. Good for them, and I'm happy. But me, I still had all the junk. But through my spiritual awakening, I had to go through this. So I'm okay with that because this is what I teach and guide people. So thank you for being here. And the breath work, oh, I was going to talk about letting go. Again, I'm still learning how to be a very good speaker. When we don't process our emotions, we don't cry, scream, let go of that stuck energy. We're like computers and absorb it. So letting go of that stuck energy is what you want to let go of. She wants to let go of your friend. Letting go of that stuck energy, she's going to cry and scream and let that stuff out because she's still holding on to the pain from not getting the attention from her mom, of whatever happened, of her not feeling that she's good enough, that she's important, that, hey, I matter and I'm not broken. It's just my mother had issues and I made it about me. So she can play victim all she wants. But what it is she has to stop playing victim and start saying, you know what? I am good enough. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time for some of us. Thank you for being here. I'll be back here on Monday morning, and have a fantastic weekend. It's time to start. Hey, so what's this all? I'm actually getting off. It's been an hour, and it was about anxiety. So I will have the replay, and I'll be back here at 9 o'clock Monday morning. Enjoy. Any last minute questions? You've got 2 minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes. All right. Okay, see ya. See ya. And if you want to make a comment, go ahead and make a comment. You can go on one of my other posts if you have any questions. Otherwise, enjoy your day.